Hey guys, it's your boy Nico here from the Small Axe Podcast. I want to show you how to use your small axe to build a lasting empire. You see, not everybody begins their investing career with millions of dollars, a huge network of investors, or the knowledge necessary to become successful in this space, and that's okay. What I focus on here on this podcast is helping you hone your skills, sharpen your tools to become the best investor that you can be. Now, I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy this show. If you have any questions or you want to reach out to me or the guest, feel free to do so. Love you guys. Yo, everybody, Small Axe people. This is Nico. Here we go. Let's have an awesome rock and rolling type of Monday. Let's kick some butt here today. So if you are the type of person that is truly working with a small axe like me, or you are just small axe meaning you don't have many financial resources right now. You don't have millions of dollars to invest in deals and buy deals by yourself, which means you're going to need to find out another way. You're going to need to use brute force. You're going to need to use your enthusiasm, use your energy, step up your game, find partners, and provide value to those people. So this is for you, true small axers. Sharpen the axe today on today's podcast. Let's learn a little bit and figure out how you can jump in and fit on a multifamily team. All right, so today I'm basically just going to talk about deal sourcing, right? If you're the one who finds the deal, you have a lot of leverage. If you go out there and you find a deal that you can then get under contract and bring to somebody, an operator or partners who have money, or syndicate it yourself. If you have that under contract, if you have something under contract, you have leverage. You can negotiate with people how much equity you're going to keep in it. You can negotiate an acquisition fee, etc. So this is my preferred method of getting into deals, finding the deal, locking it up, being the deal finder. I'm a hunter. Let's do it. Now, there are so many different ways that you should be deal sourcing, can be deal sourcing, and need to be deal sourcing, getting as much deal flow as possible so that you can get your deal, so you can get an opportunity, so you can get a property, a piece of real estate, and let's rock this. Now, I like to talk to brokers. One of the ways, and guys, and this is just off the cuff, I wrote like a few notes here, and I've literally never written any notes down for a podcast, but I'm doing it. So I talk to brokers all the time. Brokers have deals, okay? They've done the upfront work. They've done all the cold calling. They have been networking for years, hopefully. They have been talking to everybody trying to source a deal because that's their only source of income. They have to get a deal. They have to sell it. The downside to brokers, although I do feel they do have the majority of the deals, the downflow to working with the downside, to working with a broker is that they are going to charge money, right? So they're going to try to push the price as high as possible. The seller is going to be paying that, usually 4%. It could be 2, 3, 4, up to 6% of the purchase price to the broker. But that broker needs to get that person, the seller, as much money as possible for them to even use the broker. So typically, we can say that a broker's deal, a deal that comes from a broker, prepackaged and beautifully marketed, is going to be the highest price point most of the time. Not all of the time, but most of the time. But brokers have the deals. Now, if you end up closing a deal with a broker and you show clout and you show that you have the possibility to close a deal, then they might start showing you deals prior to hitting market. Those are called pocket listings, and you get a first look at it. They might say, oh, I know this buyer that would buy this, so why are we going to even go through the whole marketing thing? Let's see what they would pay. They'll get my opinion, let's say, or your opinion, and they might use that as guidance for pricing it when they actually list it, or you can snag it and get it under contract prior to it actually being listed. So I love talking with brokers. A strategy for talking with brokers is to talk with them constantly. Follow up with them every few weeks. If they put out a deal, either on their website or on Crexi or on LoopNet, which are other places that you can find deals. If they put out a deal, you underwrite it and you provide feedback. If you are not engaging with the broker and providing feedback to the broker, they're going to stop sending you deals or just forget about you. You need to be top of mind when they're looking for somebody to buy a deal. Yes, they're trying to push you to get a higher price. That doesn't mean that you have to pay that higher price. And sometimes you will, just by engaging with the broker and staying firm on your purchase price, they might choose you as the buyer. Okay, so stay firm, talk to brokers, don't rule them out. It's not a, you're not going to steal a unicorn by going, or only find a unicorn deal by going direct to seller only. You can find unicorn deals through brokers as well. They have deals, guys. Brokers are my favorite way to get a deal. Okay, other ways I mentioned, you can just go right to a broker's website or a brokerage like Marcus and Millichap or JLL Group, or you can go to their websites and see what they have listed. You can go to Crexy and see what's listed. You could go to LoopNet and see what's listed. Those are excellent ways to be sourcing deals and underwriting deals. You should be doing at least a deal a day, looking at a deal a day, underwriting a deal a day, even if it's a 10-minute underwrite, do it. A lot of people say LoopNet, this website LoopNet is like a place where deals go to die. I think that that's a positive thing. If a deal is sitting there for 300 plus days, I mean, we just found one the other day that I talked about on last week's podcast. We found one that was sitting there for almost 900 days. So I personally see that as an opportunity. Why? Because the seller's obviously trying to sell and they're getting indications that their price point is not where the market is. So they need to adjust their pricing. And that's only going to happen with time and then kind of realizing that they're not going to get that price point unless they don't need to sell it all and they just have it listed to list it and wait, and they're waiting for their price point. Then they could wait forever, right? Technically, but it's okay. You got to be in the game. You got to be looking at deals everywhere and all the time, and don't get discouraged, or rather, it's okay to get discouraged, but don't stop. Okay, it's still important to remain focused and dedicated and working on these deals and interacting with people, brokers, seeing what's online, writing notes, taking inventory of what's online, and then revisiting those properties months or years down the road. Here's an example. Today is June 6, 2024. I was just looking at a deal and reaching back out to somebody that I was looking at a deal on from 2022. March of 2022. Okay, so more than 2 years later, and I do this all the time. If I don't have any deals to look at, I will go back on my notes in my Drive folder or on my Google map that I created, Google My Map, and look around, look at some properties that are there. Reach out to the brokers that had the listings. Reach out to the owners that had the listings. Find even punch in the address on the county website to see when it had sold and if it had sold. Sometimes it takes a few months to update that, but you can find that information. And if it deal hasn't sold in a couple of years, and why not call up the broker or call up whoever listed the deal or the seller, however you saw it, however you find it, call them up and see if it's still available. Start the conversation again. If you are a deal finder, you need to be constantly deal sourcing. You need to find these deals. This is your way into getting a deal. You hold a lot of power, a lot of leverage if you can get something under contract. Now, that being said, you also have to know how to underwrite a deal, because if you get something under contract that's worth 100,000 a door and you have it under contract for 125,000 a door, nobody's going to want to partner with you. So make sure you know what you're doing. That's another podcast. Back to deal flow. Where else can you find deals? Always be networking. Go to networking events, punch into the chats, with your phone number saying, hey, in virtual events I'm talking about, punch into the chat your contact information, let everybody know that you are looking for deals in X market. Okay. Somebody might send you something. And sometimes, or a lot of times, there's a lot of fluff and crap and garbage out there. Who cares? Let them send it. Reject. You don't have to look at it if you've seen it before. You don't have to look at it if it's obviously overpriced. But it's important to be in the game and the 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 mindset in the mindset and in the conversations with people of being an active deal finder. Okay. Attend networking events in person and virtually. Go to Facebook pages, special Facebook groups and Facebook pages that have deal flow in the market that you're looking at, as well as other chat groups. Like I'm in a couple of Slack channels, and sometimes I find deals there to look at. Not frequently, but you never know. I don't want to leave my philosophy. is since I have no money to buy these deals myself, since I am the one who needs to find these deals and get them on the contract for me to actually be in the freaking deal, my philosophy is leave no stone unturned. Go everywhere to find deals. Okay. Stop being a loser, get up, get active, and move around. The deals are not coming to you. Okay. Brokers are not going to call you unless you have already closed a number of deals. Brokers are not calling you. Get over it. Start looking for deals. Be active. Be proactive. Um, so search, just do a Google search for like multifamily for sale or whatever it is to find different groups on Facebook, and you'll find them. And then you start finding groups that are linked or similar to it, and you find that, and just be involved. Okay. Be in those conversations. And again, you might find a deal that was listed from a broker and somebody then put it on there. Okay. That's kind of illegal unless they have like a co-broker um, scenario or co-broker agreement, where, which I don't love, but it's a thing that happens all the time. So like, let's say I had a deal, I'm a broker, I have a deal, I just can't sell it, I'm struggling to sell this thing. I will open it up to for co-brokering, meaning I will let other brokers market it for me as well. We'll split the proceeds of our earnings, and it's a good way to get more eyes on the property that I would be trying to sell. So it's not a terrible thing. It could hinder your negotiating price, right? Me as a buyer, if there are brokers that are fighting over a deal and they want to get as much money as possible, obviously you're going to have a hard time having them reduce that asking price. Okay. But it's a thing. Co-brokering happens. And then there are what I call daisy chain brokers, which I dislike completely. So these are the people that go and they're not brokers, right? They just go find a deal and they change the market. They take the exact OM from that deal that was listed by a broker. They change the marketing of it. They like remove the logos. They try to change the coloring, but it's blatantly obvious a lot of times. And they ask for like a certain percentage above that purchase price, and sometimes it's even more than the purchase price. And you call them up, they're living in Canada or something. They have no idea what the hell they're talking about, and they say, "Oh yeah, I have this deal for sale." But what they're doing is they're trying to sell an already listed deal, and that goes south. That's just ridiculous. It pisses me off to no end. But I still look at the deals, okay? Because maybe they can send me a deal that I didn't, maybe that I missed, that I know the broker has, but I missed it, and I would then call the broker directly to work with that person rather than this quote unquote daisy chain broker who tries to steal brokers' deals. Okay. But it's another way to get eyes on properties. It's another way to get eyes on leads, which you need right now. Okay. All right. What else do we got? So we have wholesalers. Wholesaling is big in single family. Okay. It is also not big, but it is also possible to do a wholesale deal for a mid-size to larger size multifamily property. Okay. And as a matter of fact, back in 2020, I had a deal under contract from a wholesaler. It was a sick deal. 20 unit deal in Florida. This is the big deal that I lost my skin on. I lost $60,000 on this deal because I was uninformed, uneducated, and not ready to do what I needed to do for this deal. So we ended up losing our down payment of 50K plus around $10,000 of inspections. So that's another story. Again, you could also read it on my website because I have it as a blog post from back in the day. And I used that as a blog post to kind of get me out of the crappy mind state that I was in after that. But what wholesalers do is they get a property under contract and they sell it to you for a little bit more. Okay. So they typically know more or less what the property is worth when they buy it. They typically get it at a discount, and they're trying to get the delta between what you pay and what they bought it for. So they are negotiable. Okay. Deal meaning like if it's either deal or no deal. If they have nobody to buy their deal and they're only going to make $5,000 with you, they might take that, and it might be a great deal. The only issue that I have found with wholesalers is that they have the mentality of it being a single family home where they can close in 30 days, whereas a multifamily home, you cannot necessarily close in 30 days if you do it a certain way, the traditional way, meaning getting an appraisal, which takes a while, meaning getting financing takes at least 45 days. Okay, so you might have to do this with cash, you might have to do it with hard money. It is possible, or you can work on an extension a 45 to 60-day close with the wholesaler rather than the typical 30-day close. However, obviously, the faster you can close, the stronger and the more leverage you have with the purchase price. So take that into consideration too. How do you find wholesalers? You can just go and again, Google search it or Facebook search wholesale groups in your market, and you will find wholesalers. It's great. I believe in it. I have not done a wholesale deal yet. In fact, I told you I failed and I lost 60K on one of them. But I do believe it's okay to do. Just make sure you're doing it right. All right. So we kind of went over all the things, the quick notes that I had for getting deal flow, but the main purpose is for getting a deal under contract is for you to have leverage so that you are involved in the deal. And if in the end, you let's say you got a partner that you didn't want to work with who wants this deal, sell it to them. And again, you'll be the wholesaler in that case, right? You're then assigning them the contract. You take a little acquisition fee or whatever we call it, assignment fee, whatever you're going to call it, finder's fee, and then you're out. Or you get equity in the deal and an acquisition fee. That's the way to go. So let's say you have zero money. You've been underwriting deals every single day. You finally found one that works. It makes great sense. You know you're underwriting. You get it under contract. Now you start farming it out to people. Say, hey, who wants to be in this deal with me? X, Y, and Z people do. Great. I'm going to keep 30% of the deal for myself. I am the one who found it. I'm going to manage it. I cannot put in any money, and I need an acquisition fee. Sometimes you can take that acquisition fee, which is typically anywhere from 1% to 3% of the purchase price, and you can roll it back into the property if you want, meaning that could be your limited partnership bucket or your investment amount in the deal, or you don't have to put any money in. You just get equity just for finding the deal. So this is my tried and true method for getting involved in deals. However, as you guys might know and realize, if you are in a deal this way with no money in it, and you're not taking an asset management fee, and you're not hitting your projected returns of 7%, right? You're not going to get paid, but you do have equity in the deal, and that equity is worth whatever it's worth 3, 5, 7, 10 years from now when you refinance or sell. Extremely important. So that's it for today, my family, my loved ones, my cherished listeners. I want you to get a deal. I want you to use your small axe that should be sharp as shit at this point. Use it. Get yourself something under contract, even if it takes 6 months of constant underwriting, constant networking, constant note-taking and recording and file saving and uploading and changing and learning underwriting and doing more and searching everywhere, high and low, no stone left unturned. Even if it takes that, do it. You will get into a deal. Now, don't ever stop doing it once you are in a deal. Make sure your deal performs immaculately or as best as possible while you continue to look for new deals. Here is my strategy. Let's say I got $100,000 in equity in a deal today. I'm not getting paid off it, but it's worth a certain amount of money. Let's say it's $100,000. And then it's worth maybe 5 years from now, $200,000. Okay. So I take that $200,000 5 years from now when we sell it, and I roll it into the next deal that 10 years from then is worth $400,000. Okay. Now, let's say I had 5 of these deals this year or within the next 5 years. That would give me an aggregate amount of $2 million 10 years down the road. $2 million 10 years down the road at, let's see it, a 6% return. Let's try it. $2 million times 0.06 equals $120,000 a year. Divide that by 12. I am now financially free, making $10,000 a year. Get excited, people. Get out there. Go find the deal. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I love you guys.
All right. Hey, Small Axe community. I would like to say thank you for listening to another episode of my podcast where we show you how to use your small axe to build a lasting empire. Now, if you liked what you heard, it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, and write a review. Also, if you want to get in touch with me, go to my website at small-axecommunities.com. Book a call with me. And until the next episode, keep sharpening those axes.